For 67 years, I thought I understood what it meant to invest in family. I sat in my living room that Tuesday afternoon, my phone still warm in my hand, watching the November light fade through my window. The silence felt different this time, heavier, final. My daughter's last words still echoed in my mind. "Fine, Mom. If that's how you want it, don't expect to be part of our lives anymore." All because I asked for my money back. Let me start from the beginning, because I need you to understand how we got here. How a mother who gave everything could end up being called selfish by her own child. I retired from accounting 3 years ago at 64. Nothing fancy, but I'd been careful my whole life. After my husband Paul died 8 years ago, I'd managed his life insurance and our savings conservatively. I had my house paid off, a decent retirement account, and about $120,000 in liquid savings. Not wealthy, but comfortable, secure. My daughter, Jennifer, had always been ambitious. She became a real estate agent right out of college, married Todd when she was 26, and they had Madison and Tyler 2 years apart. I watched her work hard, and I was proud, so proud. In 2019, Jennifer and Todd were renting a 3-bedroom townhouse in Scottsdale, Arizona, paying $2,200 a month. Jennifer would call me at least twice a week, always with the same complaint. "Mom, we're just throwing money away on rent. The kids are getting older. We need space. We need a yard. We need to build equity. But we can't save enough for a down payment with rent this high." I'd listened to this for 2 years. Every holiday dinner, every birthday, every phone call. Jennifer would show me listings on her phone. "Look at this one, Mom. 4 bedrooms, great schools, perfect backyard for the kids. If only we had the down payment." Todd's parents had helped them with the wedding and bought them their cars, but they'd made it clear they wouldn't help with a house. "You're adults now," his mother had told them. "You need to figure it out yourselves." So that left me. In March 2020, right before the world shut down, Jennifer called me crying. Real tears, not the manipulative kind. Or at least, I thought they were real then. "Mom, we found it. The perfect house. 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, 2,400 square feet. It's in a great neighborhood. Madison could walk to her middle school. The backyard is huge. Tyler could finally get that dog he's been begging for." "That's wonderful, honey," I'd said, genuinely happy for her. "There's just one problem." Her voice got smaller. "It's $425,000. We need $85,000 for the down payment to get a good rate. We only have $5,000 saved." My stomach dropped. I knew what was coming. "Mom, I know this is huge, but could you help us? We'd pay you back, I promise, once we sell, or we could do monthly payments, or put you on the title, or..." I should have said no. I should have suggested they wait, save more, buy something smaller, but I looked around my quiet house, at Paul's empty chair, at the photos of Madison and Tyler on my mantle, and I thought about what Paul would have wanted. "Let me think about it," I'd said. I thought about it for 2 weeks. I ran the numbers 100 times. I talked to my financial advisor, who strongly cautioned against it. "Gloria, that's 2/3 of your liquid savings. What if you have an emergency? What if the market crashes? What if they don't pay you back?" But Jennifer was my only child. Those were my only grandchildren. I called her back and said yes. But I wasn't completely foolish. I told her we needed to do it properly, with a legal agreement. "Of course, Mom. Whatever you want. We'll draw up paperwork, make it official. You could even be on the title as part owner, if you want." We met with a real estate attorney. I transferred $80,000 to their account for the down payment. The agreement stated that I owned 18.8% of the home's equity, proportional to my contribution. If they sold the house, I would receive my $80,000 back plus 18.8% of any appreciation. If they wanted to refinance and buy me out, same terms. Jennifer and Todd signed everything. Jennifer hugged me so tight that day at the lawyer's office. Thank you, Mom. I can't believe we're actually going to be homeowners. The kids are going to have such a better life because of you. They moved in that June. I helped them paint. I bought them a new couch for the living room. I planted flowers in the front yard with Madison. Todd got Tyler that dog, a golden retriever named Buddy. For the first 2 years, everything seemed fine. I'd come over for Sunday dinners. I'd babysit when they needed date nights. Jennifer would occasionally mention paying me back, always with a soon. Mom, things are just tight right now with the mortgage and everything. I didn't push it. They were family. I could see my money at work in their lives, their home, their happiness. Then, about 8 months ago, things shifted. Jennifer started talking about the housing market nonstop. Mom, did you see the Parker house down the street sold for $615,000? That's a $190,000 increase in just 3 years. Our house has got to be worth at least $580,000 now. That's great, honey. You made a good investment. We're thinking about selling, she said casually one Sunday in March. I felt a small flutter of relief. Oh? Well, I suppose I'll finally get my money back then. She laughed. Actually laughed. Well, we were thinking about that. We'd need every penny for the down payment on the new place. It's going to be in Paradise Valley. Much better schools. 5 bedrooms. We're thinking $750,000 range. Jennifer, we have an agreement. When you sell, I get my portion. I know, Mom, but hear me out. What if we transferred your equity into the new house? You'd own part of an even more valuable property. Better investment for you in the long run. I don't want another investment. I want my money back. I'm 67 years old. That's a significant portion of my savings. Her smile tightened. Let's talk about it later. Todd's parents are coming for dinner. We didn't talk about it later. Every time I brought it up over the next month, she changed the subject or said, "We're still figuring things out." Then came the call that changed everything. It was a Thursday evening in late April. I was making myself dinner, just a simple pasta, when my phone rang. Mom, we need to talk. Can you come over this weekend? Something in her voice made my chest tighten. Is everything okay? Are the kids? The kids are fine. We just need to discuss the house situation. Saturday at 2? I barely slept that night. Saturday came. I drove to their house, the house I'd helped them buy, and parked in the driveway. My hands were shaking as I knocked on the door I'd helped paint. Todd answered. He didn't make eye contact. Hey, Gloria, come in. Jennifer's in the living room. The living room. Not the kitchen where we usually sat with coffee. The formal living room where they entertained clients and Todd's bosses. Jennifer sat on the couch I'd bought them, papers spread out on the coffee table. She was in what I called her business mode, hair pulled back, blazer on despite it being Saturday afternoon. Mom, sit down. We need to go over some things. I sat in the armchair across from her. Todd stood by the fireplace, arms crossed. So, we've got an offer on the house, Jennifer started, her voice crisp, professional. It's a good one. $595,000. We're taking it. Okay, I said slowly. So you'll be able to pay me back then. Jennifer slid a paper across the table. We've done the math. After agent fees, closing costs, paying off the mortgage, and setting aside money for the new place, we'd only be able to give you about $45,000 right now. I stared at her. Jennifer, the agreement says. I know what the agreement says, Mom, but we need the money for our future. We've got 2 kids to think about. Madison's going to need braces next year. Tyler wants to do travel soccer. The new house needs work. Those are your choices, I said, my voice steady despite the anger rising in my chest. I gave you $80,000. The house appreciated. According to our agreement, I'm owed at least $95,000 based on the sale price. Todd finally spoke up. Gloria, be reasonable. We've been paying the mortgage, property taxes, insurance, maintenance, all of that for 4 years. Your money's been sitting there doing nothing while we've been building the equity. Doing nothing? I couldn't believe what I was hearing. My money made it possible for you to buy this house in the first place. Without it, you'd still be renting. Jennifer's face hardened. And we're grateful, Mom. But you have to understand our position. We can't give you $95,000 right now. It would completely mess up our plans. What about my plans? What about my security? You're fine, Mom. You have your pension, your Social Security. Your house is paid off. You don't need the money like we do. I felt something crack inside me. Jennifer, that's not the point. We had an agreement, a legal agreement that you signed. She waved her hand dismissively. Agreements can be modified. We're family. Family helps each other. Family makes sacrifices. I already made the sacrifice, I said quietly. 4 years ago. Now, I'm asking for what's mine. What's yours? Jennifer's voice rose. You didn't make the mortgage payments. You didn't fix the leaky roof. You didn't replace the HVAC system when it broke. We put in sweat equity, Mom. That has to count for something. It counts as homeownership, which you couldn't have done without me. We stared at each other. Todd shifted uncomfortably. Here's what we're proposing, Jennifer said, sliding another paper toward me. You sign off on your claim. We give you $50,000 now. We'll give you another $20,000 when we're settled in the new place, maybe in a year or so. And the other $25,000? Consider it a gift to your grandchildren's future. I felt like I'd been slapped. A gift? You want me to gift you $25,000 on top of the $80,000 I already gave you? It's not giving it to us. It's investing in Madison and Tyler. Don't you want what's best for them? And there it was. The guilt card. The grandchildren card. Of course I want what's best for them, I said, my voice shaking now. But what you're asking isn't fair, and it's not legal. We have a contract. Todd stepped forward. Gloria, we hoped we could work this out family style, without getting lawyers involved. That's going to get expensive and messy for everyone. Are you threatening me? I asked. No, Jennifer said quickly. We're just saying, if you force this through legal channels, it's going to cost you legal fees. It's going to take time. It's going to damage our relationship. Is that really what you want? I looked at my daughter, this woman I'd raised, who I'd sacrificed for, who I'd given $80,000 to because she'd cried on the phone about wanting a yard for her kids. And I realized I didn't know her anymore. I want what we agreed on, I said firmly. I want my $95,000. Jennifer's expression went cold. You're really going to do this? You're really going to prioritize money over your own family? You're the one prioritizing money, Jennifer. I'm just asking for what's mine. Fine. She stood up, gathering the papers. If that's how you want it, we'll get lawyers involved. But don't come crying to me when this damages our relationship permanently. I'm not the one damaging the relationship. Really, Mom? Because from where I'm standing, you're choosing money over your grandchildren. How do you think Madison and Tyler are going to feel when they find out Grandma sued us? My hands were shaking. That's not fair. Life's not fair, Jennifer shot back. I thought you of all people would understand that we have to make hard choices for our kids. Apparently, I was wrong. I stood up, my legs unsteady. I'll have my lawyer contact yours. Great. Perfect. This is exactly what I needed right now. Jennifer walked to the door, opened it. I think you should go. I walked past her, past Todd, who still wouldn't meet my eyes, and out to my car. I made it halfway down the street before I had to pull over because I was crying too hard to see. That was 3 months ago. True to her word, Jennifer got a lawyer. I got one too, which cost me $3,500 just for the initial consultation and document review. My lawyer assured me we had an airtight case, that the contract was clear, that we'd win. But winning in court doesn't mean winning in life. Jennifer didn't call me for Mother's Day. My card to Madison for her birthday in June came back unopened. I called to wish Tyler a happy birthday in July, and Jennifer answered, Mom, I don't think it's appropriate for you to contact the kids right now. They're my grandchildren, and you're suing their parents. You're trying to take money that would provide for their future. How do you think that makes them feel? Jennifer. They don't need to know the details. They know, Mom. Madison asked why Grandma is being mean to us. What was I supposed to say? She hung up before I could respond. I tried to reach out to Todd. He sent me a brief text. Gloria, I think it's best if we keep our distance until this is resolved. Sorry. My lawyer kept pushing forward with the case, but it was slow. The court system was backed up. Jennifer's lawyer kept filing extensions. Meanwhile, my savings account was draining with legal fees. I stopped sleeping well. I'd lie awake wondering if I'd made the right choice. Was I being selfish? Was I really prioritizing money over my relationship with my grandchildren? But then I'd remember Jennifer's face in that living room, the calculating coldness in her voice, the way she'd tried to manipulate me with guilt about Madison and Tyler, and I'd know I was right. In August, something changed. I was at the grocery store, struggling to reach a can on the top shelf, when a voice behind me said, "Let me help you with that." I turned to see a woman about my age, silver hair, warm smile, reaching up easily to grab the can. "Thank you," I said. "No problem. I'm tall. Might as well be useful." She laughed. "I'm Patricia, Gloria." We ended up chatting while we shopped, and somehow I found myself telling her the whole story. I don't know why. Maybe because she was a stranger, or maybe because I was just so tired of keeping it all inside. Patricia listened without interrupting. When I finished, she was quiet for a moment. "My daughter did something similar to me," she finally said. "Different circumstances, but the same manipulation, the same guilt." "What did you do?" "I did what you're doing. I stood my ground." She didn't speak to me for 2 years. It was the hardest 2 years of my life. She paused, but I don't regret it, because when she finally came back, it was on different terms. She'd learned that love doesn't mean being a doormat, that being family doesn't mean you can take advantage. Did she apologize? Patricia smiled sadly. Eventually. But by then, I'd learned to be okay whether she did or not. I'd learned to live for myself, not just for my kids. We exchanged numbers. Patricia invited me to a book club she attended on Thursday evenings. I almost said no, but then I thought about my empty house, my empty calendar, my life on hold, waiting for a daughter who might never call back. I went. The book club was 6 women, all in their 60s and 70s, all with their own stories of complicated family relationships. For the first time in months, I felt less alone. Patricia and I started having lunch once a week. She'd been a teacher, had 3 grown children, and had learned the hard way about boundaries and self-respect. "You know what I wish someone had told me when I was younger?" she said over coffee one afternoon in September. "That giving everything to your children doesn't make them love you more. Sometimes it makes them respect you less." That hit me hard. In October, my lawyer called with news. We've got a court date, December 15th. They've offered to settle for $85,000 to avoid trial. That's still $10,000 less than what I'm owed. I know. But it would save you the stress of trial, and you'd have the money by Christmas. It's your call. I thought about it for 3 days. That $10,000 difference, was it worth more months of this? More legal fees? More sleepless nights? Then I thought about Jennifer's face when she'd said, "Consider it a gift to your grandchildren's future." The entitlement, the manipulation. "No," I told my lawyer, "we go to trial. This isn't about the money anymore. It's about the principle." He sighed but said, "Okay, I'll let them know." 2 weeks before the trial date, Jennifer called me. Not texted, called. I stared at her name on my phone screen for 3 rings before answering. "Mom?" Her voice was different, smaller, tired. "Yes? Can we meet? Just the 2 of us, no lawyers." Part of me wanted to say no, but she was still my daughter. "Okay. When? Tomorrow? That coffee shop on Main Street you like?" The next day, I arrived early. I ordered my usual latte and sat at a corner table, my hands wrapped around the warm cup. Jennifer walked in 10 minutes later. She looked thinner, tired, older. She got her coffee and sat down across from me. For a long moment, Neither of us spoke. The new house fell through. She finally said, "I'm sorry." "No, you're not." She was right. I wasn't. The buyers for our house pulled out too. Too much legal drama, they said. They didn't want to close on a property in litigation. She laughed bitterly. Our realtor is furious. I stayed quiet. Todd's parents offered to lend us money. For your portion. She looked down at her coffee. They made sure to tell us exactly what they thought about the situation, about how we handled it. It wasn't pretty. Jennifer, let me finish. She took a breath. Madison asked me last week why we don't see you anymore. I told her we're having a disagreement. She said, "Is it about money?" She's 12, Mom. She figured it out. What did you tell her? I told her the truth. That Grandma helped us buy our house, and we made an agreement, and we're not keeping our end of it. Her voice cracked. She asked me why we would do that. I didn't have a good answer. I felt my throat tighten. Tyler made you a birthday card last month, September 17th. He left it on the kitchen counter for me to mail. She pulled a crumpled envelope from her purse, slid it across the table. I didn't send it. I told myself you didn't deserve it, that you were the one breaking up the family. I opened the envelope with shaking hands. Inside was a card with a drawing of me and Tyler, stick figures holding hands. I miss you, Grandma. Love, Tyler. I'm the bad guy in this story, Jennifer said quietly. I know that now. Todd knew it all along, but I convinced myself you were being unreasonable, that you should just understand, should just sacrifice one more time. Because that's what you always did, Jennifer. I became the kind of person who would manipulate her own mother with her own grandchildren. I became someone I don't recognize. She was crying now. I'm so sorry, Mom. I'm so sorry for everything, for what I said, for what I did, for keeping the kids from you, for all of it. I didn't trust myself to speak. Todd's parents are wiring the money tomorrow. You'll have your full $95,000 within a week. We'll drop the case. We'll sign whatever your lawyer needs. She wiped her eyes. I know saying sorry isn't enough. I know I damaged something between us that might not be fixable. But I need you to know I see it now. I see what I did. I see who I became. We sat there, two women in a coffee shop, mother and daughter, with 4 years of love and 8 months of anger between us. I forgive you, I finally said. She looked up, surprised. But I can't go back to how things were, I continued. I can't be the person who just gives and never asks for anything back. I can't be the grandmother who only sees her grandchildren when it's convenient for you. I can't be the mother who sacrifices her own security because you guilt me into it. I understand. I don't think you do yet, but you will. I took a sip of my coffee. It had gone cold. I've spent the last 8 months learning how to live for myself. I have friends now. I have plans. I have a life that isn't centered around waiting for you to need me. Mom, I want to see Madison and Tyler. I want to be their grandmother, but on my terms too, not just when you need a babysitter, not just when it's convenient. Yes, okay, whatever you want, and if you ever I had to stop, compose myself. If you ever need money again, for anything, the answer is no. I'm not a bank. I'm not a safety net. I'm your mother. But I'm also a person with my own needs and my own future to think about. Jennifer nodded, tears streaming down her face. I raised you to be independent, to be strong, to stand up for yourself, I said. I just wish I'd modeled that better when you were growing up. Maybe then you wouldn't have thought you could treat me this way. I don't have an excuse. I was selfish. I was entitled. I was wrong. We finished our coffee in silence. Before we left, Jennifer asked, "Can I hug you?" I hesitated, then nodded. She held me tight, and I let her, but something between us felt different. Breakable. Changed. That was 6 weeks ago. The money was transferred as promised. My lawyer closed the case. The legal fees had cost me almost $8,000 in total, but I had my $95,000 back in my account. Jennifer and Todd didn't sell the house. They took out a loan from his parents to pay me, which means they now owe Todd's parents $95,000 plus interest. I don't feel sorry about that. I see Madison and Tyler once a week now, usually for lunch on Saturdays. Just me and them. No Jennifer and Todd hovering. Madison told me she'd been sad when we stopped seeing each other, but she understood why. "Grandma, you have to stand up for yourself, even with family," she'd said, 12 years old, and wiser than her mother. Tyler just wanted to show me everything Buddy had learned and talk about soccer. That was enough. Jennifer and I are speaking, but we're not close. Maybe we will be again someday. Maybe not. I'm learning to be okay with uncertainty. Patricia and I went to Santa Fe last month, just a long weekend. We drove through the mountains, visited art galleries, ate good food. I paid for everything with money from my account, my money that I'd fought for, and I didn't feel guilty about it. The book club started a monthly outing to different restaurants. I'm on the planning committee now. I turned 68 last month. Jennifer sent flowers with a card that said, "I'm trying to be better. I hope that's enough someday." I put the flowers in a vase on my kitchen table and thought about what enough means. I'm still figuring it out. Some days I'm angry about the lost time with my grandchildren, about the stress and the legal fees and the tears. Some days I'm sad about the relationship with Jennifer that might never fully heal. But most days, I'm proud of myself, because I learned that love doesn't mean accepting mistreatment, that being a mother doesn't mean being a martyr, that it's never too late to draw a line and say, "This far, no further." I sit in my quiet house now, but the silence feels different than it did that Tuesday afternoon 8 months ago. It doesn't feel heavy or final. It feels peaceful. Mine. Yesterday, Madison called me on her own, without Jennifer prompting her. "Grandma, can I come spend the night this weekend? Just me?" "I'd love that," I told her. After we hung up, I looked around my living room at the life I'm building for myself, at Patricia's book recommendation sitting on my coffee table, at the photos from Santa Fe on my mantle next to the old photos of Jennifer as a child, at Tyler's birthday card on my refrigerator. I'm 68 years old. I don't know how many years I have left, but I know this. I'm spending them on my terms now, and that decision, as hard and painful as it was to make, might be the best investment I ever made. Not in property or appreciation or equity, but in myself.